Hey, good evening, guys. A little later than I intended to do this. Actually, what happened was I thought I'd recorded this earlier, and then I went to upload it, and there was actually nothing there. So I was like, oh, well, I just spent 20 minutes doing nothing. So here we go. Back in action. We were busy last weekend. We went to a friend's play, and we got home pretty late. So at that point, I was just like, I'm tired. I'm going to sleep. So I'm back now, though, and I'll be back tomorrow with another pitch. So, where are we? Where are we? What is this? For those of you who are just tuning in and watching and have never seen this before, you're like, what is this guy? What's this guy in this room here? What is this? I don't understand it. Anyway, so what I started doing this around Halloween time actually, is that I basically do a pitch for like making a sequel to the previous movie, like changing it up a little bit or connecting characters from the previous ones and stuff like that. I did this. I started with the Halloween franchise. I did that. It's actually one of our most viewed videos. And then I did the Nightmare on Elm Street series recently too, as well as a pitch for what I would do with the new trilogy. So now I'm on the Friday the 13th one, as you can tell by the thumbnail and the Jason mask. So anyway, the last time we did a pitch for Friday the 13th 3D, which is what it was called, so we stuck to the title. Now what I've tried to do with these is basically just act like each movie, the previous movie did happen. So anything that happened in the previous movie is canon to this movie. So I have to follow whatever that is. Now, the thing with Friday the 13th is they don't, a lot of times their survivor characters don't necessarily always come back to the next movie, like the actors don't come back or whatever. So I'd like to change that a little bit, just because I think you need to, even if you kill those survivors in the next movie, like they did in the second movie, it's like, keep some characters around, because I think that's the thing with with the Jason Voorhees stuff is like Tommy Jarvis, had 3 movies at least, where he was around, but like there was never any like real final girl, and you just had several different final girls, but they were never like, they weren't like Laurie Strode being in multiple movies or Nancy or things like that, or Sidney Prescott obviously. So I'm going to change that a little bit. So the last one, my last pitch, I brought back Ginny. Ginny! So I don't know, the way that guy yelled when he's like, Ginny! You're in trouble, Ginny! I'll be making a lot of movie quotes here and there from the movies that I, for some reason, have in my head and remember. So anyway, that's what the basic pitch is about. And if you like this, guys, like and subscribe. You can watch the other pitches on the Friday the 13th pitch playlist. And I'll add this one to that once it's done. So we're going into the final chapter. One of which, if you remember my ranking videos, is my favorite Friday the 13th movie. It just really ties things up nicely. It's a good way to end this series, had they chosen to actually end it. And yeah, so, now the whole thing is, it's not, this pitch, I wanted to avoid, because I was afraid that the last one, maybe there was a little bit too much of like, yeah, that stuff that happened. Basically, that same stuff happens, but there's a few more characters. I'm trying to like. I think the last one I did, I was kind of tired when I did it, so I just was like, sorry, that's right. So I want to try to keep making effort, because I really put some effort in the Halloween ones and the Nightmare on Elm Street ones too. So I don't want it to just feel like, yeah, okay, we're just doing the same thing. So I'm trying to tweak things here and there. I don't want it to just feel like it's just that movie, but me just adding a few things to it, or like I'm redoing it, because that's not, I'm trying to keep some originality going here. So I'll just add some things here and there, have some other characters that maybe return, because at the end of the last one we had Chris, I think, was the only surviving character. I don't think anybody else survived, so I figure we'll bring her back at least in a smaller role, because she's obviously traumatized by this. Maybe she went and got a little bit of help from the a mental facility or something like that, but or whatever they call it these days. I don't even know what they call it now. But dealing with the trauma of this thing, and she'd already had trauma from Jason, grabbing her when she was young. Still a weird timeline thing there. Anyway, so that's empty. Okay, let's get another one. Yeah. All right. Sorry, Blade. So anyway, what I would do was, I want to play a little bit differently here. I sort of talked about this in this last pitch, about the town being like, oh, no, Jason's dead, But I want to go a little further into that. In that, why not capitalize on the biggest thing that was going on in the 80s? Capitalism. Greed is good. This is during the 80s, right? This greed is good time. So while this isn't Wall Street, obviously Camp Crystal Lake isn't Wall Street. But for a small town, general stores and whatnot, hey, you got kids coming to camp, there's camp counselors. That means people are shopping at our shops and they're spending money. So while they're not making millions of dollars and they're not Walmart or something like that, they're, or Target or whatever else, they're little shops, and you know what? Hey, business is good. We want to make money, right? We want to be a successful business. So, you keep the camp open. That means kids are going to come to this camp, and we're going to, make money. People are going to come to the town and all that stuff. It gives us good prosperity for the town. So I think we play it a little bit with that. Like, make the town just be like, oh, that stuff that happened last summer, that was an isolated incident. It's just some nut in a hockey mask. Wasn't. What? That's not Jason Voorhees. That kid drowned, man. Come on. You know the story. That kid drowned a long time ago. There's no way he'd be alive now. Come on now, you sillies. And so it's very much that kind of like, I hate to use the word fake news, but it's very much like, nah, brush it under the rug. There's no Jason Voorhees. And then, Chris is, I don't want Chris to be a soothsayer like Crazy Ralph. Like, you're all doomed. But I do think that she's like, no, you idiots. This guy tried to kill me. He killed my friends. But like, I think even the cops are in on it too. Like, they're just like, yeah, just be quiet, go away. It's like, stop harassing people. These people are just trying to have a good time. But one thing we didn't have in the other movies is we didn't have the actual kids actually come to this camp, because the entire point of this camp is that you have these kids coming. They're supposed to have camp with these counselors. What usually happens is the counselors just get killed before the kids get there. So I know that Jason Lives did have the kids there. But the other thing is, Jason doesn't kill kids. That's one thing that he does. He's not Freddy Krueger, who thrives on that. But Jason really doesn't kill kids, because in a lot of ways, he is a kid in his mind. So that's what I would play with. I would play with on the fact that we're in the 80s. It's a big yuppie town. But for this town, this is like big business for them. They're getting a lot of money in that town. And the police force is getting lots of good things too, a lot of support. And they can't have their authority questioned, by God. Like some maniac in a hockey mask, come on now. And like I said, and no one's seen Jason for a while. Like, after the last movie, he kind of like disappeared a bit. You didn't see him. Figure he's dead. Whoever this guy was, he's probably dead. Not going to be a problem. You just clean up the camp a little bit. You get some new people in there. Not a big deal. So the one thing I do keep the characters that are in there. So a lot of the characters are already in there, along with some of these townspeople who will be characters, or more or less cannon fodder that Jason will kill. Because I want Jason to be in this movie to be like, and he was kind of in the fourth movie, but I just want him to be just on a rage, because at the same time his legend's kind of growing now. There's people who have been telling the ghost stories about him and all that stuff, but he's not this methodical Michael Myers type of killer, or even really zany and talkative and jokey, or creepy sociopathy, whatever you want, a psychopath like Freddy Krueger. I still think he enjoys killing these people, because they're doing things they shouldn't be doing. And if they had not been doing those things, he wouldn't have drowned, as his mom would say. So, yeah, he doesn't want people in his home. This is his home. In his mind, he's protecting his home. You're in his home. This camp is his home. This is where he drowned, and this is where he came back. This is where he saw his mom get her head chopped off. These are important things to him. So for now, he's been in the woods. He's still kind of creeping out of the woods, whatever. There hasn't been anybody around for like a year since the last time. They've cleaned things up. They've had people there, here and there. Maybe he's killed a few people here and there, just, kept it covered up, whatever. Because Jason, say what you want about Jason, but he is smart. He doesn't just leave people lying around. He's at least until someone's supposed to find their dead bodies. But, he ain't dumb. He ain't dumb. So anyway, back to business. So yeah, we would still obviously have Tommy Jarvis, because Tommy Jarvis is a very important character. He's one of our characters that continues to go on for a few movies. So what they will do though, but we will also have Chris will pop back up. We have his sister Trish, and their mom. He's still doing his masks, making his mask. It's still an important part of his character and stuff like that. And I would definitely do more with, what's his name? I just had it a minute ago. Phone, tell me what his name was. The guy that was looking for his sister. I just had it. Here, let me pull it right back up here. Rob. That's the guy, the camper. He's looking for his sister. So he's looking for his sister, which is a plot they actually used in the remake. That's what Jared Padalecki's character was doing. His sister was actually alive. So I would tie it in a little bit more. I think they kind of hinted at it, but tie it in a little bit more that maybe she was a victim last year, or he's not sure if she was a victim, like she went missing. And you can find out later that she was. Or maybe you find out that maybe she was one of the other, survivor girls, or one of the other girls killed at the camp in one of the previous movies, or a few years ago. Which is not hinted at, but never really specified, like, it was that character, So I why don't we focus on, hey, it was that character. So you get that kind of mystery aspect around it. But I would definitely make him even a little bit more bigger character. Not the main character, but still, I would keep him around, too. Everybody else is kind of cannon fodder. Crispin Glover's there to do a silly dance, and, why would you take that away? And then he just gets his little, wine opener to the head, and his reactionary way. Yeah, funny shit. But yeah, so most of the other people are going to be cannon fodder. But I think Jason's just once he sees all these people, and he even sees the cops, I'd say the cops arrest Chris, and as they're going back, I think Jason's going to just remembers Chris and says that she got away, she had the audacity to come back to my camp. So yeah, he's going to take them out. That truck will drive off the road and all that stuff, crash, big explosion here. In a Friday the 13th movie, what the hell? That's fine. So yeah, that's how like I said, if they want to be consistent about these final girls, we're going to have to actually, tie them up. We tied up, the second movie tied up the original. Alice gets killed, and there were reasons for that, obviously. But yeah, so I'm like, okay, so last movie I also killed off Ginny. And then Chris was already survivor. So now we have to kill off so we can get another survivor. So anyway, they get killed. A lot of the events would probably be similar, I'd say. Maybe not exact. Some of the kills would be more creative, I think. We'd have some good kills and stuff, and lots of big kills, lots of people in town being killed. I just want Jason to just go on a rampage. He's killing neighbors, he's killing the people at the general store. He's just had enough. This is a much scarier and much more vicious Jason, because this is the final chapter. We got to make sure Jason's getting rise the body count, as they say. Really make him vicious. More and more people, not just the camp counselors, but he's killing general store people. He's killing old ladies. He's just killing everybody except for kids. He doesn't kill kids. But I would actually have the kids arrive at the camp too. Add that element to it. That's what maybe even gets in Jason's head, that he can't, even as much of a rage monster he is, he cannot hurt a child. So I think you have some of the kids arrive. And I would even say have them arrive after some of this bloodbath has happened. And now you have Tommy Jarvis, you have Rob, you have his sister, and then all these other counselors, they're dead. So they're trying to help these kids too. Maybe just get a couple kids here. They arrive early, whatever the case. And then they're trying to get through to people and saying, hey, look, do not bring your kids here. We've got a couple kids right now. We've got to get them out of here. So the three of them are trying to, and Tommy himself is a kid. So it's we got Tommy here, and the mom's dead, and we got to get these kids out of here because this guy is a maniac. We got to get out of this area. He's going ape shit. He's just going crazy. So we need to get the hell away from this maniac and his freaking, hockey mask here. And everybody's heard the stories of how he's, all the camp stories, all the ghost stories of how, how vicious this guy could be and how he came back and his mom and everything that happened with the Voorhees family. So, yeah, that's what I would definitely open up with. I would have it have a nice showdown. I would have Rob here's what I would do with Rob. I would make Rob kind of like Dewey, in that you think, oh, he's fucking toast. But then, he's just going to go away in an ambulance and be fine. Because, yeah, I mean, why not, because I think his character was interesting, and it was an interesting character looking for his sister and all that. We do find out his sister was Ginny. I'll say that much. I mean, I didn't know much about Ginny's, so why not have Ginny be his sister? And she died, so now he has some rage. He fights him. And then it's down to Trish and Tommy. They get some of the other kids away. And she's trying to get Tommy to go away while she fights him. She takes a couple blows from the knife as well, so she's definitely hurt. And then, of course, definitely still have Tommy go batshit insane and just kill this motherfucker. Die. When he's not creeping on girls and laughing about it from his room. And it's such a weird, funny thing. But yeah, I have that thing. And then we kind of close out the final chapter. Jason is finally dead. He's hacked to death. That motherfucker ain't coming back. Friday the 13th is done. We have completed it with a quadrilogy, which started with the mom and ended with the son. There's no more Voorhees relatives. There's nothing with Tommy taking up the mask. I know we had that look at the end, which obviously is what influenced the Faith people. But yeah, as far as this particular thing, it's done. Jason is done. Pamela's got her head chopped off. Trish and her brother survive along with these other kids and Rob, who's injured, but still surviving. So boom, that's done. We wrapped up in a nice little bow. Final chapter. But unfortunately, it made a lot of money, so the producers are going to want a fifth one. So that'll be the next pitch tomorrow. Well, how do you bring this back? So it's like, do you bring Jason back? Do you stick with the copycat killer? Do you do something completely different? So we're going to play with that a little bit. Because, yeah, the fifth one was very violent. There was some decent kills and some very humorous moments. But a lot of people hated it for various reasons. So we're going to look into that. I'm going to think about that the rest of the night and tomorrow and figure out how we're going to make Friday the 13th Part 5 work. And I was trying to remember what the hell it was called, because I remember New Blood was 7 and Jason Lives is 6, and of course he takes Manhattan at 8. What the hell is the... let's just look that up real quick so we know exactly what's going on. Let's see. What is it called? I don't know why I'm blanking on what it was called, because I've seen it tons of times. Final chapter. What about Part 5? Part 5. A New Beginning. That's what it was. A New Beginning. And that is interesting. There is somewhere to go with that title too, because it kind of was. But let's see what we can do with it. So I'll think on that, think of a way to do it. I can guarantee you it won't involve a Cult of Thorn, because that's Halloween and was dumb. And we should never have a cult that worships Jason. But I'm getting really close to the camera. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this pitch, guys. Like and subscribe, and keep watching, guys. And I still have a goal that I have to watch. I still have to watch The Eternals, even though I really don't have much desire to watch it. That way I can rank all the phases of Marvel before I see Quantumania. Rank the phases of Marvel. Do another ranking video with that, because the ranking videos are fun. And then just kind of rank phase by phase from 1 all the way to 4. So it gives me a little bit of time to watch The Eternals before I have to actually endure it. Yeah, so, and then I can also do a little ranking video of the shows of Phase 4 that premiered and stuff, and my rankings on those. I've done a couple of reviews. We've done a couple of reviews on it too. Excuse me, had pizza. So yeah, that'll come to the channel as well, guys, soon enough. And I'm sure we'll have some other fun things along with these pitches too. So tell us what you liked. Tell us if you like these pitch videos. If you like other things, you want me to do other things movie or TV related, or more TV reviews. I finished Goliath, which was a great show. I just started Invincible, which was that first episode. God damn, that's crazy. But yeah, very cool, guys. Very cool. I'm going to do this. Hope it didn't make you dizzy. All right, guys. Thank you guys for watching. This is the Friday the 4th. I can't speak. Friday the 13th, Part 4, final chapter pitch. Made a few changes. Still have the characters, but I think we made some decent changes to make it just a little bit different. Because, be honest, like I said, I would never remake that movie specifically because it's a good movie as it is. But there's this, you could add some things to it if you wanted to. That's all this pitch is. This would be like if I was pitching to some Hollywood agent back then. They'd probably say, "No, this is stupid. Get out of here." who cares? This is for entertainment. So hope you enjoyed it, guys. Have a good night.